Hey there, absolutely gospel music fans and readers and viewers and everybody in between. We are so excited to be here today with Chris Bryant. Chris has recently gone solo and launched a solo career, so we are excited to talk to him today about what's going on with his ministry. How are you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing great, man, and excited to be here. Thank you for reaching out and looking forward to talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for those the uninitiated into the ministry of Chris Bryant, why don't you give us a little bit of a history of who you are, your history with gospel music, and kind of what brought you to this place?
Sure. I grew up in Mississippi, and there's not a whole lot of full-time artists down there, but my dad was a minister. My grandparents traveled and sang for several years, and I kind of did it like everybody else that like most people that do gospel music, they worked full-time jobs and then traveled on the weekends. And so I grew up loving it, and was a big fan of the classic quartets, the Cathedrals, Gold City, Kingsmen, groups like that. And so when I got a little older, I started doing quartet music in my late teenage years, and did that and worked a full-time job. And then about 5 years ago, got the opportunity to go on road full-time with the Kingsmen Quartet from Asheville, North Carolina. And so I did that and had a great time with them for 4 years. And then about 8 or 9 months ago, started this solo ministry, and God's been using it. And so just been the last 5 years have been a blessing, and God's opened a lot of doors, but they've kind of been a blur. I've been a lot of places in the last 5 years, because once you get on a bus full time, it seems like you don't get off for the time. And so people have asked me several times, they said, what's it like traveling with the Kingsmen? And I said, well, my first night I got on the bus, I did that. And then it seems like for 4 years, I don't know if I ever stepped off of it. It just didn't seem like you did. So, but it's a great experience, and I was blessed to get it. So that's kind of a quick summary of my background, but I do some writing. I've done some writing when I was with them, and now doing some solo work.
Awesome. That's great. And
That's
now,
so
of course,
fun.
you've got a single out right now. The
Yeah.
Winds and the Waves Still Know. Seems to be doing pretty well. We got it spinning pretty good on Absolutely Gospel Radio as well. So tell us a little bit about that song.
That song actually came to the Kingsmen when I was there, when we were picking out songs for the last album that I was on. It's one of the first songs I heard from a great trio of writers, Kenna Turner West, Jason Cox, and Christy Fitzwater. And I fell in love with the song then, and we recorded it when I was there. We put it out digitally as a release. And so when I got ready to leave, I talked to the group and I talked to the writers, and I said, listen, I want to take that song with me because it meant a lot to me. And they all agreed and supported that fully. So we went and re-recorded it, and I decided to send it to radio because it's a great message in song, and it touched a lot of people. Even there, we sang it many times there when I was with the Kingsmen. And in my solo ministry, I guess one thing that's kind of been a focus of that has just been to encourage people, to give a message of hope, encouragement. I believe that's needed so much. And so a lot of the songs that I select and songs that I'm writing are songs that do that tell you either don't give up, or there's hope just around the corner, or just kind of letting people know that we've all been there. And this song does that. And so it means a lot to me, and radio has been a great receptor of it, and I've gotten a lot of feedback. And so I'm glad that the message is getting out there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you said you traveled about 4 years with the Kingsmen?
I did. Yeah,
And
4 years to the day, actually. My first day was also my last day 4 years later.
wow. Well,
Yeah.
you timed that very well. You
Yeah.
timed that very well. So now your solo project, you're out traveling. What's your schedule looking like? Is it pretty full? Are you looking for more dates?
Well, yeah, I started this year kind of thinking I would do 35 or 40 dates this year, and then get up to 60 or 70 by next year, because it's hard to start out and book dates. And I want to be selective. With the Kingsmen, we traveled. We were on the road 200 days plus a year, and that's a lot of nights away from a lot of time. And so, but with that being said, here we are in August, and I'm already out. Up right now at 75 to 80 dates this year. So
Wow.
I've pretty much filled up 2023, and I'm already booking 2024. So it's been
So you're doing good.
Yeah, it's gone a lot better and a lot faster than I thought it would. But that's about where I will stay. I don't think I'll do much more than that because at 75 or 80 as a soloist with the time on the road,
Mhm.
that's pretty full time.
It is. It is.
So
Been there, done that, and it's a lot of work.
yeah,
So, and it's a lot of time on the road and away from the family. So,
yeah.
but we'll just pray that God just blesses you greatly on those dates, so that just keeps you going and keeps you on the road and keeps you healthy.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been it's great. But doing solo stuff is a lot different than doing quartet. It's a lot of work. You have to do everything. So fortunately my wife
You
goes,
don't have roadies?
yeah, I have my wife, but she does a lot. She does a lot more than she should, and so I'm very thankful for her because without her, goodness, it would be a lot. So she handles a lot of the product side of things, setting up the table, and she'll even sing a few songs with me because it's I grew up singing and doing a lot of solo stuff, but not full time. And when you do a full time solo concert, 2 or 3 a week, it's a lot more singing than I was doing before. So it's been a learning curve, I guess I would say, but it's going well.
Well,
What can
that's good
people
to hear.
expect? Go ahead, Beth. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, what can people expect? If they bring in Chris Bryant, either for a concert, for a ministry opportunity, what can they expect from you, during that time?
Yeah. I brought some of the Kingsman albums, some of their songs with me, stuff that I sang there and stuff that I've written there. I wrote 2 songs on the last project that they recorded, the More to the Story album. I either wrote or co-wrote 2 songs on there. I've also written songs for other artists like Brian Free and Assurance, the Down East Boys. I have a few artists that have some songs on hold. The Kingsmen actually have an album coming out beginning of next year that they have another song that I wrote that they with a new lineup that they've recorded. So I still do a lot of writing. I go write in Nashville, and so I do some original stuff, but I also do some of the songs that I sang there with the Kingsmen, songs like Church of the Great I Am, obviously the Winds and Waves, things like that. So and then I like to do some old stuff. I don't believe you should get away from the old music. I like doing some old hymn songs like I Must Tell Jesus. There's something about that name. It Is Well With My Soul. Just some classic songs. But it's a good mix, I believe, of kind of modern Southern gospel, but also holding on to the roots of stuff. But when I pick songs, I've always selected songs that minister to me personally, and songs that mean a lot to me. And so I believe you shouldn't sing a song if it doesn't speak to you. And so everything that I bring and do is with that in mind. And so it's been very well received. It really has. I'm in the studio right now recording the rest of a new album. And so I've got about 5 songs left on that. And hopefully I'll have that out by the end of the year. And a few songs that I've written and a few that I'm bringing back from other artists that I'm doing now that they've recorded of mine. So it's a good work. Got some great musicians on it, good producers, and it's going to be a good album, and that'll help kind of get the ball rolling here.
I'm sure it will. So we'll be looking forward to that when you get the new one out, and we'll have to do a review on that with you, and I can't wait to hear it. It sounds like it's going to be a great mix of some good stuff.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit, Chris, about your songwriting. Who have you written with? What's your process like? A lot of people like to hear about that.
Well, I started writing songs when I was about 9 years old. I wrote my first song when I was 9. And like I said earlier, my grandparents had a group in Mississippi. They had a full band, and they actually recorded at a recording studio over in Georgia, and we're on a music label there. So they took me when I was 12 and recorded that song, and they actually sent it to radio back then. And it was played locally a lot. And so I got a taste at an early age of kind of songwriting. So I've written on and off all of my life, but I never did anything with it. And so the first time that I really, other than that, started letting songs out, I was sitting on the Kingsman bus, and we were looking for a Christmas song. And we had gone through everything, and everybody, all of our favorite writers had sent in songs. And I was sitting on the front of the bus with Chris Jenkins and Ray Reese. We were sitting up there one day traveling. I don't know where we were going, but they were talking about music and said, we just haven't got a good song yet. And I just somehow, I don't know why I did, but I said, well, I said, I can write us one. And Ray looked at me and he said, you right? Good. And so everybody got a Ray in it. That's mine. But Ray said, he said, right? I said, well, I said, yeah. And so then I started getting nervous because I said, well, I don't know if they'll like what I write or not. So I told the guys, I said, I'll write the first verse in a chorus, and if you want me to keep going, I will. And so I did that, and I went to the back of the bus, and about 3 hours later, I came out and I said, this is what I've got. And they listened to it, and they said, yeah, you need to keep writing that. And that song ended up being on the More to the Story album, song entitled Tell It on the Mountain. It's the last cut on there. It's a Christmas song, and we sent it out to radio stations at Christmas a couple years ago, and it still gets played during the Christmas rotation. And so after that, I started reaching out to other songwriters, started going to Nashville. Since then, I've written with Kenna Turner West. I've written with Jason Cox. I've written with Sue Smith. I've written with Tony Wood. There's a lot of writers over there that I've had the chance to write with now. And so that's been it's been a great experience. Brian White, Kenna West, and I wrote a song that Brian recorded entitled This Side of a Miracle. It's a great song that they've got on their last project before this new one they just put out. And so it's just, I've always loved to write, but I've kind of dug into it a little bit more now. And so when I got ready to go to the studio this time, it really made me bear down. And so I've got 2 or 3 on there that are original songs and that I've written. So I've been blessed to write with a lot of great writers. I really have.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how can people reach you and find out how they can get a hold of your ministry?
Well, I'm on social media on Facebook or Instagram under Chris Bryant Music. Also, the website is chrisbryantmusic.com. Got that there. And so any of those outlets, you can find contact information. Like I said, I'm booking for 2024 right now. Still have a few dates in 2023. But yeah, it's I like to stay in touch with people and keep new content out. And so just released a lyric video last week for the new song, Winds and Waves Still Know. And that's been getting I got that out last week. And so so just try to keep new stuff coming out. You have to do that. And so it's fun. It's a lot of adjustment, and it's full time. This past weekend I was on the road for 3 days singing. This weekend, yesterday, I actually spent a day filling in with another quartet for the day over in Dollywood. I did 4 shows with the Kingdom Airs yesterday, filling in with them. And so this is my first day off this week, and I chose to, I wanted to speak to you guys. So if I have bags.
And you honored us with your presence. We feel so blessed.
If it wasn't for you, I'd be having my right now. So that's okay.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, Chris,
we'll
we're not going to
keep your day.
Yeah,
I have one more question.
Okay, go ahead, Ben.
One more question. When you do, we would love to air your videos on Family Friendly.
Okay.
So we have Family Friendly Entertainment, which is TV, a whole TV network that we have videos, and we're always looking for new material. So make sure you send that to me. Email me a link to your video, and we'll get it up there.
All right.
And help you promote the new one.
That'd be great. Listen,
we got all kinds of ways to help you, Chris.
Well, listen, I do want to say this. Thank you for all that you guys do for Southern gospel music. I keep up with you, have for several years, and you were good friends to the Kingsmen and good friends to a lot of artists out there. And I believe even one year while we were there, we won Quartet of the Year from Absolutely Gospel, and that was kind of a highlight of my little career, my tenure there. And so I just want to say thank you. I know it's a lot of work, and you guys put in a lot of work. Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, everybody check out Chris Bryant Music. You guys will not be disappointed. We are excited to partner with him and his ministry as well, and promote him whatever way we can. So until then, next time we will see everybody later.